Alright, so we're going to do a little metronome practice. We got the metronome set at 125 beats per minute. Alright, so we're just going to do a lot of the cuts that we've been working on. And I'm going to, just flip it. So we're going to start with some kin ones. Alright, so today we've been doing a lot of drum scratching. Now we're going to get away from that and we're going to go back to just a regular sample. We're going to use maybe fresh today, and maybe some other samples too. We're going to go through a bunch of samples and we're going to go through two scratches. We're going to do the 3-click orbit and the crescent flare. And the reason why we're doing both of these at the same time is because they basically have the same exact clicking pattern. It's just the crescent flare, the hand movement is different. So we're gonna practice doing 4 orbits, 4 3-click orbits, and then 4 chirps. Crescent flares. So the crescent. Let's just start with the crescent flare, because for years I never really did crescent flares because of the fact that it's basically a lot of clicking and it makes the same number of sounds as a flare. So if the flare is like this, so that's a regular flare. So it's just 1 click for every change of direction. So it makes 2 sounds, that one, and then it makes 2 sounds. So it's 4 sounds. The crescent is very similar, and it goes like that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So they both make 4 sounds: the flare and the chirp and the crescent flare. All right, but the thing is that so that's why I kind of always never really did them, because it's like, hey, it's gonna make this similar noise, right? But it sounds different though. So that was a crescent right there. So it sounds a lot like transforming. It's like da 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 da. So it sounds like you're going. It sounds like that. It sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's not. It's just going. So it's using 3 clicks or 3. It starts in open position, and this hits the crossfade. I'm sorry. This hits the closed position 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So it's going. Whoops. Like that. So. Sorry. So we're gonna go slow. And that's the crescent flare. Now the 3-click flare uses the same amount of clicks for the forward direction. So we're going to do that. So it makes 4 sounds. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The 3-click makes the same number of clicks. So it's going. So that was 3 clicks in the forward direction, and 3 clicks in the backwards direction. All right. So we're going to do that. So. Alright, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice how the crescent flare sounds the same. It's going. So this is the same. This left hand movement is the same, or the clicking hand movement is the same, but the right hand is what's changing between these 2 scratches. So now we're going to alternate between both of those 2 cuts. Okay, so we're going to go like this. So we're going to go. So here we go. So, whoops. So you see that. So this was staying the same the whole time. The whole time, my crossfader hand was doing the exact same thing. So the only difference between a crescent flare and a 3-click orbit is just what your hand movement is doing. So crescent flare, you're going to have 2 crescent flares for every 1 3-click orbit. All right, and we're going to write that down in a second. We're going to do a whole, the TTM diagram and stuff like that. So we're going to do that slow now. Like that. So do the crescent flare slow. So it's very transform-like, because transforming is when you're going. So it sounds similar, So if you hear a crescent flare going fast, you might think it's transforming. You might think it's so. So it sounds like I'm going. It sounds like I'm going. It sounds like I'm going like that. But the cool thing is that transforming is always going to go slower. This is an important mathematic concept to understand within scratching and physics. Is that a transform is always going to go slower than open fader scratches, because the open fader scratch has less clicks. And if you're, so it's just like a chirp with the open fader scratch like this. You can go fast. You go. So you can go fast with the chirp, because I'm only doing 1 click for every change of direction. If I was trying to transform that, I wouldn't be able to go that fast, So your fastest speeds will always be open fader scratches, and that's why over the past 3, 4, 5 years I've always been doing a lot of open fader scratch tutorials. But we're going to start doing a lot of closed ones and different types of things, different variations. So that's why we're focusing on the crescent flare now. All right, so let's go back to the crescent flare. So. Right, it sounds just like a transform going. Yeah, but it's not. So this is not a transform, even though it's basically a transform if you're after that first click. It's like, all right. So it's like, so it's coming from. So when you're doing the change of direction, it's like a transform. So we're gonna alternate between them again. So we're gonna do 3 clicks, and then we're gonna do crescents. Okay, so. So you see the clicking movement is exactly the same. And now we're going to show why it's exactly the same. Alright, so let's see. I think I had I did this blue last time. We're going to use a purple marker. Alright, so now, so this is a crescent flare. Well, let's do the orbit first. Alright. Alright. So we're going to start with the orbit. So this is a 3-click. Alright, so we're going to go like this. Let me just make this maybe a little bit bigger. Like that, alright. So we're going to go like this. Alright, so this is a 3-click. So this is just a baby scratch going forward, back, like that, forward, back. So for those that are new to TTM, so I'm always, doing a lot more advanced or intermediate things in a lot of these videos, but for those that don't know, this is a baby scratch. This is going forward and backwards. So, like that. Alright. Now, the 3-click is going to have a click right here. Let's see. So it's going to be 3 clicks in the forward motion. So, 1, 2, 3. And then same as here in the backwards motion. 1, 2, 3. All right, so this is a click, click, click. So it's 3 clicks there, 3 clicks there. All right, so we're gonna make a little ruler right here. Ruler, all right. So this is cutting this into 4 equal pieces, so it's gonna be like this. It's gonna go like that. And this is cutting this one into 4 equal pieces. So like this. All right, so it's 4 equal pieces. Now, so this click is happening here, this click is happening here, and this click is happening there. This click is happening there, that one's there, and that one's there. So it makes 4 equal sounds. That's how it sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So the crescent, so this is an orbit. So this is a, I'll write this, this is a 3 click orbit. So it's a 3 click orbit right there. Now we're going to draw the crescent underneath. We're going to use the same ruler. And notice these same 3 clicks are going to happen in this, but this scratch is going to be twice as fast. So I'm going to go like that. We're going to do a circle there. And maybe we'll make this a line here. We'll cross out the American Express. Alright. Buff it out. Alright, so then we're going to do another circle right here. So notice, so that we're going to do another thing like this. And then we'll do another one over here. Alright, so like that. So now, so this crescent flare, so the same things are going to happen, just like how there's a click on this, a click here, and a click there. This click is going to be here to change the direction. Alright, and there's another click here, and there's another click here. Now, actually, this is a little bit off, it's just because my drawing is off. Okay, so we're just going to make a new little grid down here, maybe, so it's like, you can see it, but so it's basically the same thing here. It's going like that, going like that, it's going like that. All right, so this is a crescent flare. Let's say crescent flare, and this is also a crescent flare. Draw a little dividing point. This is also a crescent. Flare. This is a crescent flare. Alright, so that's why these are very similar. You see it's the same number of clicks. 3 clicks there, 3 clicks there, 3 clicks here, 3 clicks here. Alright, so we're going to go back through this. So here we're going to go. So we're going to do this first. We're going to do this 4 times. We're going to do this, so this we're going to do this for 1 bar, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then alternate and go what okay? Alright, so you see how these can both basically go the same speed. So now for every DJ, every scratch is, some scratches you can go beyond and keep just doing faster and faster speeds and some things like that, especially if you can twiddle with them and stuff. But some scratches like the 3 click and the crescent flare, they're actually limited to a certain speed. So you notice that I was doing at one point I was doing the fastest where I could go for both of these. So everybody's going to have their own fastest speed, but it's good to know your fastest 3 click, because the thing is that if you're doing like electro scratching, and you're trying to, you're going fast over stuff, the 3 click works great over electro, and this also works great over electro too. So it's like boom, ch, boom, ch, and we're not using drums in this because later this year we're gonna get into scratching over a beat, but we're focusing on the concepts first, because it's good to be able to master the concept. Because if you just learn a concept over a certain style of beat, then when you switch beats, you're gonna get messed up. So that's why it's good to get the concepts down so that you can do the concept over any beat. That's why most of these tutorials, you notice over the years, we haven't really been doing these over beats, but we're going to start doing those over beats once we start to amalgamate a bunch of different and bring together a bunch of different cuts. So we're going to go slow first. We're going to go All right, so that was just those were 3-click orbits. Now we're going to do the crescent. Like that. So these are sound-alikes. They sound the same. Notice, so you can say that these are sound-alikes. So this is kind of a sound-alike tutorial. So this is like what-ta-ta-ta, 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 or what-ta-ta-ta, what-ta-ta-ta, what. You know, so each crescent flare sounds like one motion, 1/2 motion of a 3-click. So you notice. So this is basically the same. So. Alright, so you see that? And these work great when you're doing some electro or something fast, because let's say you're going. Alright, so I was doing the 3-click, and then I was doing chirps. I was adding some chirps in there, and you're going fast. But you can do the same thing with the crescent. So. So I was going fast, and I was just doing some 3-clicks, and I added some chirps and some crescent flares and 3-clicks. I was just alternating between 3-clicks, crescent flares, and chirps. So this tutorial, we're just focusing on 3-clicks and crescent flares, and then we can add some other things in between. So. Alright, so that was just a little freestyle, quick little freestyle. Let's see how we're doing on time. Oh, we're doing great. Alright, so let's talk a little bit more about the looping of these, and let's just focus on the looping of them again, and we're going to see how fast we can go. But the thing about crescent flares is they can make your arm kind of tired, just like transforming. If you just do these over and over again, you know, with this you kind of get, feels like it's more of a rest. But this is just kind of intense to the hand. So. That's it. It's the crescent flare and the 3-click orbit, and this is the relationship between the two. So you can see that if you keep doing these over and over again, you keep doing these over again, you can switch back and forth and go between them. All right, and that's pretty much it. So now we're just going to do a little, some more. So. All right, we're going to do that with a different sound now. All right, so here it goes. So the cool thing about this is if you learn this one first, you'll be able to do this one easily, because this is kind of a hard scratch to learn because it's like a mix of open fader and closed fader technique. So that's why the crescent flare can be kind of difficult. And for years I kind of just pushed it to the side like, oh yeah, but I only started doing them in the past few weeks because I realized, I was like, you know what, if I just do the same 3-click pattern, I can do it, and then it just translates. So it translates right over. So I never even really ever had to practice these because I was able to just translate this clicking pattern just to this. So it's just... Now, if a DJ did this and they were in 1985, people would think that they were just or let's say not 85, let's say it's 92, and you were doing that in 92, people would just think you were transforming. So for all we know, back in the day, people could have been doing crescent flares and 3-clicks, and we just thought they were transforming because we didn't get to see their mixer and see exactly what they were doing. All right, but you never know. But yes, the crescent flare. This is a scratch. This is invented by DJ Qbert. Alright, so now we're going to change the sound. Let's see, fresh. So now we can hear what it sounds like with fresh. So. So you see, it's just this hand. This hand is the scratch hand that's changing this from a 3-click to a crescent flare, or a crescent flare to a 3-click. All right. So your scratch hand is very important. It's very important to be able to start to learn how to keep one thing the same and then start to change something else. All right. So let's see how it sounds in another sound. You see it on this side. So let's try it. We'll do it on this one. So. And you note that the 3-click is a little bit more expressive than this, because this you're always having to change the direction, so you can't tweak the movement as much. So watch, with the 3 clicks you can do a lot of tweaking. So look, I can go. So you see that? So let's see what it sounds like with the reason I'm going back to the fresh and and stuff like that is because it's kind of it's almost like a constant, or not a constant, more kind of like a default where we're used to hearing that sound, so you know what's changing. Because when you use different samples, every sample can sound very different with different scratches. So these sounds are kind of neutral sounds where it's just like we know what the original sound sounds like. So now we're going to show you this inflection stuff where you can inflect things. You can be like, what the right? You can go like that. And when you're doing that, it almost sounds like a guitar where you're going like. So you notice when I do 3 clicks a lot, if you see me like thrashing over a beat or something live or something like that, I'll probably be inflecting these a lot and be going. Alright, so that sounds real funky. It sounds real liquid. It's like when you start to do those inflections. So let me put it on fresh. Whoops. Alright, so this first one I'm going. Alright. And you notice when I was doing some of those other ones, I was letting it go too. Like this time, usually when a lot of times people are doing scratches, they're always holding the record. But you can also let it go too, so you hear the natural flow of the record. You're not inflecting the scratch. So I'm gonna let the record go, so it sounds more like a transform. So. So you see the difference between that. I was letting it go every time in the forward direction. Obviously in the backwards direction you can't let it go, you have to pull it back. But in the backwards direction I was trying to mimic the sound of the forward direction where it's a constant speed. So when you let it go, the record's moving at a constant speed. So remember, there's a lot of different ways to do the same thing. Even with just going forward, you can let it go at a constant speed like this. Or you can go like that. You can make it go like, higher. There's a lot of different ways you can inflect them. So there's we'll get into other things like that in other tutorials, but there's exponential, there's logarithmic, and there's constant speed. Those are the 3 main types of speed. Either you're accelerating, or you're decelerating, or you're just going constant speed, just like a car. So let's try those again. These are going to be very lines that are very, very constant lines. So it's going. Whoops. Alright, now we're going to inflect them. So. And also, the whole orbit sound, that's an invention of DJ Disc. Shout out to DJ Disc, who pioneered the use of turning the turntable off and just keeping it off. And if you keep the turntable off and you want to do this, then you can't let it let it go and do constant speed. So you have to kind of always always inflect it. We're going to do it now like that with the table off. So we're probably going to add that to a lot of lectures in the future too, doing the DJ disc style with the platter off. Alright, so you see how that sounds. It's like... Alright, so let's try out with another sound. So that's it. Alright, so now let's do a review. So we've got the 3-click, and we've got the Crescent flare. And the 3-click orbit uses 6 clicks. This is 6 clicks. And that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 sounds. Now the Crescent flare is 3 clicks altogether, and it makes 4 sounds. So it's 3 clicks and 4 sounds. Alright. Alright, now we're going to do what we just did on the beat. Okay, well, not a beat, but this is a metronome. Alright. And I do suggest practicing with metronomes over a beat, because the cool thing about metronomes is that they allow you to not be kind of biased by a time signature or the style of a beat or the funkiness of a beat. It just kind of makes you kind of focus on the pattern. So we're going to do what we just did. Pitch. Alright, now we're going to speed it up. Go speed this up. Now we're at 130. So this is kind of like weightlifting. We're going to see what my maximum speed is, because everybody has a maximum. So that's 130. The other day I just saw a shortcut doing stabs at like 144 beats per minute, and that's just crazy. Totally crazy. Shortcut is so fast. His stabs, and I want to get to that point. I can't stab at 144 yet, I'll admit. He's on some next level stuff. OG. So here we go. Now we're at 135 beats per minute. So here we go. Alright, so this is like weightlifting. This is what so once you've mastered the scratch without a beat, then you want to start doing this where it's like weightlifting, where you try to see how fast you can go and see what BPM you can go to. So we're at 135 right now. We're going to move up. We're going to move up a little bit. We're not going to move up too much faster. We're going to go to 138. So 138 right now. I'm not sure if I can do 140, but I should be able to. So. Alright, now let's see if we can go faster. So that's 138, now we're going to go 140. Like I was saying, this can go over electro, this can go over grime. The 3-click and the Crescent are great, and they basically can both go the same speed. So that's kind of what I'm showing with this, is that your maximum speed with your 3-click is going to pretty much be your maximum speed with your Crescent. That was difficult. That was hard. 140. I barely made it. You can see that I started off lagging a little bit, you know. And plus, my arm is kind of sore now. I've been scratching for a half an hour in this video, and like I've said in other videos, if you scratch too long, you don't want to practice and wear your arm out. I only go super long in tutorials like this, but when it's just me and my own, I'm only scratching for 20 minutes here, 30 minutes, 15 minutes there, 10 minutes here, even 5 minutes. So you want to let your arm rest back up, you know. Or your wrist too, you know. So here we go. Let me wrist. All right. Let's see if I can go 145. I don't know if I can make it. Or let's say 144. The magic 144. So this is 144 now. Now we're at 144 beats per minute. I'm actually using a Google metronome. You can just go to, if you type metronome on Google, it'll just pop up and you can have your own metronome. Now let's see if I can do 144. Here it goes. Oh my god, I couldn't even get those last ones. Those last two. So 144 you can see is my limit. I probably can't go, if I try to go 150, you'll see what happens. Alright, so it's 150 right now. Let's see if I can do it. No, I can't. So let's see. Oh my god, maybe if I rest and I come back and try it tomorrow, I might be able to, but see, that's my limit right there. So I know that, I need to just be practicing at 140, 144, but everybody's going to have their own limits. Some people might be able to go faster and be able to go 160. Everybody's arms and muscles and fingers are all, composed in different ways. So I'm going to go back to 140, nice round 140, and then we'll do some freestyles.